Well, today I want to demo an AI first starter that I've been building, and really it's going to allow you to build marketing sites with AI that's consistent and really easy to edit. And the reason that I built this is because AI can build all kinds of things, but it may not be all that consistent in what it builds, right? It invents its own layout, it invents its own spacing, it invents its own colors. Sometimes it does this at different screen sizes. Sometimes it does this from page to page. And so you don't really get that consistent of results. So you might get some hard coded values over here, some more CSS written over there, some arbitrary grids. And a lot of times nothing is really reusable. And so I thought about this problem and I said, well, how can I build something that will be reusable and give AI the guardrails? And you really need to build a system in order to do that. And so here on the left, you can kind of see like this is some of the stuff that happens when you just let AI be unguarded and it's just going and doing its own thing. And then on the right, you see how AI can build with guardrails. I'm specifically using Astro and Sanity along with Cloudflare in order to build this out. And one of the things that Astro allows you to do is it allows you to create components, and then you can bring these components together in order to create layouts and sections that are really reusable, that are responsive, that really require zero custom code a lot of times. And so that's what I've been working on. We're building on these guardrails in this component first system. And this enables these pages to be assembled almost kind of like Lego blocks. And what comes out is something that's really consistent and really responsive, and it's easy to make updates and change. And then if you don't want to use AI to do it, it's very easy because it's all component based. It's very easy for you to build these layouts by yourself. So one of the rules is really you want to compose, you don't want to necessarily write. And you're not necessarily writing HTML and custom CSS for every single section. You're utilizing the components as Lego blocks in order to build out these sections. And so let's jump in. Let's look at a demo of what this would look like. We're going to build with Claude. I've created this component system within Astro, and it utilizes the Claude MD file along with some skills in order to use the existing components and really write minimal CSS. Now, I'm not going to run through how to set up everything and how to set up this project. That will be another video for another day. But what I want to do is just show you how this actually works in practice. And so here is my project. One of the things that I will always do is I'll take the images that I'm going to use and I will put them in an assets folder. I try to keep things super organized, and so I have an assets folder, and we're going to build out another industry page. We're going to build out this plumbing industry page on my own website. So if we go over here, you can see that I have this page built out already in Figma. So I've already built out the design in Figma. And I've already pulled out the images. I've exported those images, everything prepared in VS Code. And I've gone ahead and written out the prompt here, but I want to walk through this prompt with you so that you can see everything that is really taking place in this prompt. And so one of the things that I do is I tell it exactly what I want to do. I've pointed it at my repo that's in GitHub. It's on the development branch. And I said that, hey, I want to build out a new page on my website. It's going to be an industry page for plumbing. And then I'm going to tell it where I want the navigation to go. You don't have to do this, but I want everything to be full for this. So in the nav bar, we're going to add in the industries dropdown there. We will add it as plumbing in the footer. It's going to do the same thing. This is going to be very similar to the other industry pages. And this is kind of key where if you do have other sections or other pages that are similar, then you can tell it to do that. If you're just building for the first time, then you're not going to obviously have that, but you can work with Claude to do that and it'll still give you a very good example. I'll show you a website that I've built completely from scratch with this, but it's going to use a very similar layout. I'm going to feed you the sections one by one via a Figma link, and I want you to build that for me. And so here's what I do. I go over here to Figma. I grab this section here that I have built out. I right click on that, and then I do copy link to selection. And this is going to give me the link to this actual selection in Figma. And I'm going to go section by section and do that. Now, You might ask, well, why not just do the whole page? I've done that. It takes a little bit of time, and I've found that I get better results if I go section by section and I tell it exactly what each section is doing. I name the section, and if I have other sections that have been built the same way, or if I've already got components that have been built, then I will tell it that. Or if I have an idea of how I want it to build, then I will tell it whenever I give it the instructions. But what I do is I copy the link to that section, and then I put that in this prompt. And this is really the key part here. I want you to use the components that already exist, and I want you to write minimal CSS. Keep it as little as possible. If at all possible, we should just use the components. Reference the Claude MD file for how to build this page. Here are the sections. And so you can see that I've listed out the sections. I have put in the link, and I've just kind of named each of the sections, and I give some instructions on that. You don't have to do that, of course, but I like to do that if I have some idea of what I want this to look like, or I've already built another section on the website. So I've gone ahead and did all of this beforehand, so that you don't have to sit through me doing that. Basically, it's just me copying and pasting the section. So here we go. We're going to click go. What it's going to do is it's going to check everything out. It's going to go over to Figma. It's going to view that Figma file. It's going to start viewing the sections, and it will create the page in my project. It's going to create another branch for me. It's going to create the page in my project, and then it's going to get working. It's going to get cooking here. So we're going to check back here in a second, but I want to show you some other features. If we go to one of these other pages, so that page here, let's just pop over to my home page. And one of the things I want to show you is how this actually lays out. Every section is built with a section. It's not always built with this layout component, but a lot of times it is. And then you have some other components inside of that. This cold component wraps some loose text. But the layout component is one of the main components that you have, and you have the section. And whenever you hover over any of the variants within the section, or any of the props within the section, I've created these JS docs that tell you all of the different things that you could put in there and exactly what that maps to. And then also on each of these, so that you don't have to remember which prop goes with each component, I've created this docs prop, and its whole purpose is just to hold this pop-up doc here. So you can see all the different props that go out with layout. And you can put any of these props on there, and it controls a number of things. So it's controlling what breakpoint that it might collapse at. It's controlling what the variant might be. It's controlling whether the alignment is at, whether this is going to be how it's going to bleed, what the ratio is going to be. It's controlling a number of different things. You can look through all of these different ones and see. And then you can also write classes on here. So if you do happen to have to write some custom CSS, then you can easily put a class on here. If you want to target this with JavaScript, you can easily put a class on here and do that. And then on any of these, you can hover over it, and you can see that indeed here are all of the different layout variants, and then what they actually mean. And you just apply them right there. The same thing with the columns, and there are notes in each of these. So let's go back and check. We want to make sure that we allow some of this stuff as it walks through. There'll be a few things that you do have to allow every now and again. All right, we're back. So we're going to check this out. We're going to see that this is been created on this branch right here. So I'm going to go over here, and I love using the GitHub desktop. I think this is just a better experience, at least for me, than having to write everything into the terminal. And so we're looking for the plumbing industry branch. We're going to fetch that down. We're going to be in plumbing. It's going to be in here, my web design. So here is the page that was built. And you can see that Astro pulled in all of the different components for all the different sections. It pulled in the plumbing facts data. It's created the page URL for it. It's created some styles here as well that we can see. We can see that this is it. Out of all of the styles that it created, it only created this, and that's it for the entire page. So 2 rules. So let's go over and check this page out. I should have put it here. We have the plumbing page. It's already got some animations on it. It's got the different images pulled in. It's got all the images. This one I may need to update. Looks a little bit rough, but it's okay. These are the comparison cards right here. That's the only CSS that was written for the whole page. I told it to pick some case studies that would match and kind of go with more of the home services theme. So it pulled some in that I had, and it also pulled in the different FAQs that I gave it, created that, and it has that. So it took maybe 10 minutes for that to happen. So in order to build this entire page, it took 10 minutes. So let's go look at the page from a responsive standpoint. If I pull it in, and then go up and look, everything looks good. This whole page has been built for us. It has been connected to the nav bar. It's been connected to the footer. It's had schema added to it. It's been added to the LLMs.txt, and it's been put on a branch for our review. So then I can open up a pull request, and then I can publish this live on Cloud through Cloudflare, and it will be ready for the world to see. And so that's how you can build, with Claude, right? AI writes code, but in this instance, AI is writing your code, and everything stays nice and clean. It's on the guardrails, and you can easily build pages and whole websites in this way. So give it a try. Check out the GitHub repository. You can clone it, and then you can also check out the docs that I have made that will give you a little bit more insight into how everything works. But there is a setup skill that you can run with Claude, and it will take you through everything. You can use a CLI to run that skill as well, but you can use Claude to run that skill and just work through that, set up your entire project, and then start coding.